Why are we so drawn to extremes? Why does balance feel boring? And what is missing that makes us feel like we either need to go all in or do nothing at all? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel where we talk all about self-improvement, personal development, but take a pretty balanced approach to it. Today, I want to highlight one side of the extremes, which is just feeling this overwhelming need to go all in. This all or nothing approach to self-growth and personal development. But if you are interested in leveling up and embarking on this journey with me, do not forget to subscribe so that we could stay connected. So either you are fully dedicated or you failed. There is no in between. There is no wiggle room, and this mindset is becoming increasingly prevalent in social media and society as a whole. When I look at the fitness niche, for example, if you are not working 6 days out of the week, doing the 75 hard, maybe the winter arc, or the latest extreme trend or diet, like why bother? You don't want it hard enough, you're never gonna get the abs, you're never gonna get the dream body, you don't love yourself enough, you're not serious about your health. Or even with our productivity levels, hustle culture, you need to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, because if not, are you even serious about your goals? Do you even want to become rich? If you are not eating, breathing, self-improvement, then you don't want it. We have to girl boss our way to work 2 to 3 jobs every single day so that we can buy a house by 25 and retire by 30. And don't get me wrong, these are all amazing goals, and maybe some people can do it, but the problem is that there is no grace, there is no in between, there is no room for slip-ups, and there's no room for being human. It's honestly starting to feel like we are romanticizing suffering, right? Because in a way, we think, oh, the more hard work we put, the more suffering we put, the more deserving we are of these righteous things. But life doesn't necessarily work that way. A lot of the times we're going to put ourselves in this position where we are susceptible to burning out, we're isolating ourselves, we're grinding it all out. But in the end, instead of growth and leveling up, it turns, or maybe you just realize that you've been in a way punishing yourself. And also we have to think about what is the appeal. Why do we try to put ourselves in these situations where we feel miserable, we feel isolated, we feel lonely, we are burnt out, working 24/7 and not living? Like, why do we do this to ourselves? Like, I understand, I get it, wanting to live your dream life, wanting to become the best version of yourself. But it is just as important to also, enjoy your existence while doing it. Like, we don't actually only have to live for tomorrow or for the future. We can live in the present. In the present, today, it's pretty cool too. So there is this story about a fisherman who lives a very simple life. He wakes up in the mornings and he fishes until he gets a few fishes for his dinner and a few to sell as well, because obviously his family needs money, but they are pretty self-sustainable. They have a small house. It's not like a very shitty house, it's just a very modest home, and they're happy. He's happy with the life he lives. And so one day he runs into a businessman. He's traveling from out of town, he has a convention to go to, and the businessman sees how good the fisherman is at fishing. And the businessman is just so impressed. He's like, well, what do you do all day? Oh, well, I fish, I go with my family, we play together, I play with my kids, I spend some time with my wife, and that's pretty much my day. He's like, what? Dude, you're like really good at this farming stuff. You can sell this. Like, this could be a huge business adventure. Like, why have you never done it? And the fisherman is like, well, for what? I don't need it. Yeah, but you could be rich. If you leverage this opportunity, you can make big money. And what would I need all that money for? Well, if you start your own business, that's already going to be enough money. Then you can scale it and you can create more businesses. Then you can create a franchise. And then you can just retire and buy a huge house by the sea and spend the day with your family. And the fisherman is confused because it's something that the end goal, right? He's going to go through all this process of starting a business, scaling that business, and it's going to lead him right back to where he already is. He has a house by the water. He spends his day with his family. He doesn't get it. And this story was really interesting to me because I started thinking about, like, what is it all for? Me, I had this mindset at some point where I really locked in. I isolated myself completely because I wanted to build my business. I wanted to just go out there and achieve all of my goals. And I let go of all of my friendships, all of my relationships. I wouldn't even spend time with my parents. I just isolated myself because I thought that I needed to. And when I thought about, well, what am I doing this for? And it's like, well, I want to spend time with my family. I want to give my family like all of these things, but I'm not spending time with my family. Like, I'm avoiding my family. That's the approach that I'm taking to get there. And that is when I realized that, you know what, it was going to take me some time regardless. I could isolate myself all I wanted to, but at the end of the day, like, I still had to finish school and get my degree. There were still so many steps that, like, I couldn't really rush. So there was truly no point for me to just go that hard, for me to sacrifice everything around me, right? Because the sacrifices that I was making, it wasn't just like, oh, spending less, oh, not hanging out with my friends every day, not hanging out with my parents every day. No, it was literally like shutting everybody out and just focusing on my goal. Tunnel vision on that goal and shutting everything out there. It got to a point where I wasn't even taking care of myself. I wasn't enjoying life at all. People would ask me to hang out and I'm like, no, but I'm busy. I'm for real. I'm serious about my goals. I need to not go out. Can't travel. I wanted money to travel and I was saying no to traveling because I was going all in. Make it make sense. And so the truth is that a lot of the times we can be free now. We can be happy now. We don't have to wait to have the perfect body, the luxury car, the luxury apartment. We don't have to wait to retire to start living. And when I thought about it too, I'm like, well, what makes these extremes so appealing? They offer these very clear rules, strict guidelines, honestly, and a sense of identity. Oh, I'm doing 75 hard. And listen, I know for some people, 75 hard is gonna work magic and they're gonna be able to adhere to that lifestyle after the 3 months. But for a lot of the people, it doesn't work like that. Yes, these extremes yield very fast results, but they also leave as quick as they come. And that is a part that people do not show. Because yeah, how I got abs in 3 months, how I lost 40 pounds in 3 months, the workout routine that took me from this to this in 2 months. Yeah, those are going to get clicks. Those are going to go viral because everybody wants the fast results. It's also hard when these people's job now becomes being fit. Their job is now to stay consistent, to adhere to the lifestyle they've adopted. That is now their job, right? Because they go into like influencing. But for a regular person who works maybe 2 jobs, maybe works a full-time job, to go from that extreme and stick to it for years, it doesn't happen a lot of the times. Yes, these people get extreme results. They look good for a month, for 2, and then back to square one. And nobody wants to hear that truth. When you post the video, the degree that took me from 0 to 200K in 5 years, nobody's going to click on that. How I was able to save $10,000 in 5 years. No one's going to click on that. The workout routine that helped me lose 20 pounds and keep those 25 pounds off for 5 years. Nobody wants those results anymore. Even though time and time again, those results are the ones that are proven to be sustainable. Like, nobody cares. Give me the results that I can see in 2 weeks. The results that I will see in a month. I don't care. I'll do the extreme. I'll cut everybody off. I'll be miserable for 2 months. I just want the results. Yeah, but what's going to happen as soon as you hit that milestone? and you're like, shit, I'm so miserable. I don't want to feel miserable anymore. Let me go back to my old life. You're going to start back on square one. And then the cycle continues and continues and continues. And so the key is to focus on how we can make the process enjoyable so that we don't fall victim to that crash and burn cycle. And let me tell you, when you're in that cycle, it's really hard to get out of it. You will always want to skew to one side of the extreme because then you feel like you're not doing enough. But then you go into that extreme and you find it to be extremely unsustainable. And it just leads you to burnout and guilt, and then just you're stuck on this endless loop. It's exhausting. Another thing that I think is really fueling this mindset is the feeling of being behind and social comparison. The internet kind of has made it seem like everybody has their shit together. Like, it's really weird, right? Because I go on TikTok, and I don't know if you felt this way too, but I go on TikTok, I see all of just the negative things happening in the world, especially here in the US. Our president, it's just a lot of bad things. The economy is shit. The stock market's crashing. My stocks are down tremendously. All of these negative things, right? People are crying. People are being a little bit more authentic, more transparent about how much they're struggling. And then I go on Instagram, and I've been going on Instagram more because of my job. I have to manage a few clients' social media accounts. So I go on Instagram, and it's like a whole different world. Sometimes I even go on YouTube, and it's like a whole different world where everybody's traveling, they're going out to eat, they're doing this, that, and the third. Like, everyone seems to be having a great time. And I'm over here like, what is going on? Like, am I living? Is this real? Like, how could these things be extremely different? It feels like different dimensions almost. But it's not because the people on Instagram or YouTube are not suffering. It's because they're just not transparent. They're just not being real. They're just not being real about the fact that they are renting that designer handbag. They're not being real about the fact that they just went into 20K's worth of debt because of that little trip they took. They're not being real about the fact that when the bill came, everybody turned the other way, including them, because they didn't have the funds to pay for everything they had just ate. And so it becomes very toxic because the rappers or the Kardashians, whoever it is that are just posting these very flexes, like they got it. Okay, most of them, they got it. And then you have the Instagram models, Instagram baddies who are trying to compete with them, and they don't got it. And so their finances are shit. But they feel like, oh my God, I have to keep up. And then the average Joe, you, me, we're like, what the fuck is going on? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my life? Nothing is wrong with you. We are all living in the same world. We are all struggling. Yeah, the grocery prices are high for everyone. Gas, high for everyone. It is hard out here. We are in the literal trenches. Do not get caught up into chasing a lifestyle that people have tricked you into believing that they are living. Most of us, maybe one day we will achieve greatness, but not at a young age. You are not losing. You are not behind. You are simply just not there yet. But one day you will be, so long as you keep putting in the work. So the last thing that I think is just really fueling this obsession with extremes is validation. We have to ask ourselves, like, who is it all for? Really think about why you want certain things. Like, is the Rolex really gonna improve your quality of life? Is the banging body really for you? Is a luxury car that much better than the car you're driving right now? And obviously we are different people, but for me, when I did that introspection, I realized that it actually was not for me. The things that I had now were not just way worse than things that I wanted. I wanted the approval and validation that came with hitting a certain milestone. Maybe it's we want to make our family proud. We want to show our parents, look what I can afford now. I made it for you guys. We want to post our stuff on Instagram. We want to go, and some people, like, half of their trip, if they go on a little trip, it's like all being documented. Half of their trip is literally documenting. And like, I get it if you're an influencer, but if you're not an influencer, like, for what? I'd rather be enjoying my time, enjoying the present moment, but then why would I waste it like trying to get the perfect picture on the dinner date, $200 dinner date, $300 dinner date? You go, and by the time you're eating your food, it's already cold because you wasted the first 20 minutes trying to get the perfect picture. And it's like, why do we want to flex on the random strangers? The random people we met from high school? That's who we want to flex on? That's what we're doing all of this for? Or sometimes too, we want a certain something and we think that this external factor is the key to getting here when it really isn't. And so a lot of the times, it's not that we even need the extreme to begin with. It's like we want what it represents. For example, if you have like a fitness obsession, you really want to get the abs. Do you really want the abs? Or do you just want to be more confident? Because even if you have the abs, if you don't do the inner work, you still might not be confident. But if you do the inner work, you can still be confident without the abs. So you see, it's like you don't need this extreme of losing 40 pounds in a month or in 3 months before summer, getting the abs in order to get confidence, which is what you really want. You just got to do the inner work. And yes, you can start working out, start eating healthy, but it's not going to take you the 4 months. Realistically, it's going to take you years before you get abs, and that's okay. But throughout the journey, you can still be a more confident person because you're doing the inner work. The whole Rolex, the luxury car, the luxury apartment, the designer drip. We don't need that sometimes. Like, we actually don't. Like, am I crazy? But sometimes when I get something, and I've always had this feeling, I really want something. I've been wanting it for months, maybe years, a long time. Doesn't matter how long of a time. I want something. I get it. Once I have it, it's like a week max, a month max passes by, and I'm like over it already. I don't even want it anymore. It's not that special. It's already mine. It loses its like oomph. It's the same thing with the designer. With those material possessions, is it really for you, or is it so that the random people that see you walking down the street can be like, oh damn, she got it like that, so that your friends and family can be like, oh, is she doing so good for herself? Is it that? So stop chasing the extremes. Like, if you really want to go ahead and reach a goal, by all means do it, but you don't have to sacrifice so much of yourself for it. A lot of the times that's not even the right approach, because a lot of the time it's going to lead to burnout, exhaustion. It's going to lead you to just quit. So shift that focus from external fulfillment to internal fulfillment, from focusing on the end goal to focusing on the journey. And that is what will help you stay on the course of reaching your goal for a much longer and sustained amount of time, right? Because we all deserve to wake up feeling excited for the day, to go to sleep feeling like we had a good day. We do not deserve to live life every single day being miserable, hating our existence, not ever experiencing joy or fun or all of the other amazing things that come with being alive. But yeah, other than that, that was all that I had for you guys today. I hope this video inspired you to let go of extremes and focus on more consistent and sustainable approaches to getting your results. I am all about balanced approaches to everything. I'm all about fitness and self-improvement, mental wellness, also physical health. So if you are interested in any of those, do not forget to subscribe so that we can stay connected and embark on this leveling up journey together. Because at the end of the day, all I want to do is help us level up together. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, your experiences with going all in or taking something a little too serious, and how you manage to find like that healthy sweet spot. Because a lot of the times I think that could be very complicated, finding the balance where you're just not swaying too far to the left or too far to the right. Until next time, bye.